tight section. Grabbing this hand here. This thing is tight. We don't want to be low, so this guy can grab this hand. And then we're going to have to work on feeding it out. Now, the biggest problem I think kids have sometimes, they grab this hand, the other guy grabs that hand, now you got to let go with this hand, now you got a big fight right in here. So we try to stay away from this hand altogether. Always going to attack this hand. And especially if we're going a straight stand up, we're going to be standing up this way, trying to capture underneath. It's important to get this hand in tight. But that's what I was really going to talk about. I want to talk about moving into the man or moving away from the man. And different ways guys try to break you down. If they're trying to chop this near arm, one thing that we don't want to do is to give up that near arm, and we'll go to our elbow right here and turn our hand out in this direction. Anytime a guy gets an angle on you, you got to take that angle away. And if he goes chop, he's got an angle on you right here. He's got an angle. The one thing that you don't, which is obvious, you go chop, you don't want to give up this arm right in here and give it up a 2-on-1. That's one of the reasons why we try to go down to the mat with him. He chops, boom, we're going down to the mat. He might have a good angle out on this side. What I'm going to do is post my hand in front of me. I bring this knee up, and I put him right behind me. Put him right behind me. So either I'm going to move into him or move away from him to put him behind me. If I'm on him right here, and I go do a good chop, and I have him right here, I got a good angle on him right here. I got my knee right up his butt. I got this arm posted right in here. I'm looking to grab this arm. I got an angle on him right here. We want to try to take that angle away from him. That will relieve all that pressure. Maybe he's going to chop and try to capture that arm for a 2-on-1. Maybe he's going to go chop and try to single wrist back to the other side. So what we want to try to do, boom, right here. See the angle that he has? I'm going to use this elbow right here. I've got my hand posted in, and I'm pivoting right here, and I put him right behind me. This arm is inside right here. So I'm not going to give up a bar right here, and I'm just bringing it up right to here. I put him behind me. Sometimes I might have to go here, here, here. So now I'm going to come up on an inside leg stand. But I put him directly behind me. Put him directly behind me. We're here. He goes chop. Now you go ahead and try it. You got to bring this knee right across. Right here. Bring this knee right across right to here. I'm not going to go to my butt. If I go to my butt, I'm going to get stuck right here. I'm going to slide right on my shin. I'm sliding right on my shin. Using my hand to post right in front of my face. And I'm jamming with this arm to help him put me behind him. Chop, boom. I'm going to put him behind him. See where he is? Behind him. I got to get my head up. So many high school kids, you see this happen. They chop, boom. Their head's right down. Their butt's up higher than their head. One thing that I think will help them, if they get chopped, boom, they go to that elbow. Post, boom. I put them directly behind me. Put them directly behind me. In this situation here, I can do two things. One, I can go for a stand-up. If he's still coming with this chop arm, I just put this arm inside, and I'm trying to come up, and maybe come up to my stand-up and attack the 2-on-1, cut away. Or, I like the old man people, and our kids have gotten pretty good at it. Setting up they're in here, and they're trying to come with this, they're coming hard with this hand. Just cross this roll. I consider that an old man move. They got to get a good pull back on the other side. Well, I'm right here. I got this knee in front. Now elevate with this foot right here. This old man right there. And our kids have gotten pretty good with that cross wrist roll. The key to this knee and across, and it seems like a real hard. Kids have a hard time understanding it at first. You stay off your butt and slide on your shin right here. And move back into this guy, you can really put this guy behind. And we use the same thing, same type of motion on the single leg. I'm coming up, boom, and I get my hips back up underneath. Post the hand, boom, right to here. Help me get an angle. I got outside leg up, outside leg up. Now what? I can come right to my feet. Even if he's got it trapped in here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm trying to bring my hand up in front of me. Now I'm bringing this one inside, and I'm clearing him out this way. If he's just on a straight, somebody called it an Iowa ride today. On an Iowa ride, I'm just going to put pressure on it this way. Take the changeover action, which I'm going to do a little bit later on. This improves a lot of it. That's right. That's the right motion. The hard thing to do is to clear this arm. It's all right. I'm right here. I'm going to take this knee and bring it across right to there. Now I have to work on clearing this arm this way. But you see which direction I put him in, and maybe he can testify to the fact that, and it's a tough position right here too. You're going to get an angle on me. I might be in here. I got to get my head up. Now I got to start bringing him across right in here. It is a tough position. It is a tough position, and your kids have to work on it real hard. I can do the same type of motion down flat on the mat. And this is why we teach our kids if they get broken down flat, is to try to teach them to start kneeing across right from here too. He's right here, and I start to do the same exact thing, except I'm clearing my knee out back the other way. In tough position right here, I have to watch for the guy who's throwing legs, and that's an area that we spend a whole lot of time on because of the area that we're in. We have to be pretty quick. Now I'm bringing this knee in this direction and throwing it right off the back. So I'm going to do it down flat on the mat again. Up motion. He's got me tied up in here. I'm bringing this knee up, and now I'm trying to put him behind me right to here. Got to clear the arm. Got to clear the arm. So there are 4 areas that I think it's real good to get knee across on. And you can use that motion off of single. He's right here. I got my knees together right in here. And he's trying to get this leg in. Go ahead and load it in. I'm just throwing it right here. Lifting it up, stepping out the outside leg, and throwing it right off the back. The knee in a cross action, and I think our kids are really good at it. And it's something that you really have to play around with. And right here. Everybody know what I'm talking about? And what we try to do is something that we call changing hips. We try to keep height on this hand and change our hips right here. So we're popping out, keeping height right to here, and now I'm going to pop out of the pocket right to here. We call it changing hips. So I'm going from this hip here to this hip right here. I'm clearing my hips right out of the pocket. When we do this drill, get height, clear out of the pocket. Height, clear out of the pocket. Height, clear out of the pocket. Comes in handy also if you're stuck right here. This is getting close to a change-up, and I don't need to go right there. You're stuck right here and you don't have anywhere to go. We like to change hips on guys. Right to here. So actually what I've done is I put them on the other side. Understand? That's basically what a changeover is. But you gotta get yourself out of the pocket. Especially if you've got teams that, in Pennsylvania, teams are very good leggers and teams are crabbers. And they'll try to pull you right up on their lap. Right in this section here on the chop. And try to tangle you up right in here. Either throw a leg in on this side. So we spend a lot of time on getting ourselves, go ahead to height, and getting ourselves right out of the pocket like that. If we can't get height on it, right here. And what we'll do is we'll try to do a kip up. Our knees are coming right to our chest. And we'll try to do a kip up right back to the other side. Now change your hips once again. Change your hips. So I'll try to do a kip up. If I get stuck down there, this one's pretty neat. If I get stuck right here, I'm going to take my belly and I'm going to put all my weight on this hand. You can go on the chop if you want. And he's right here. I'm going to put all the weight on my belly right here. And do a belly roll. Now, that probably won't happen with a good guy. What he'll do is he'll pull his arm up. But I've also counted that tight waist rod right there. I'm stuck right here. I can't get height. I'm stuck right here. Can't get out of the pocket. So I'm going to swim this hand up forward. I'm not going to grab. I'm going to swim it up forward. Now I'm fighting my hand to the mat. I got my belly on the mat right here. And if I have to, I'm going to throw it off back on the other side. It's a nice little action in there. What a good guy's going to do is he's going to pull that hand out. And I counted that tightly. He's going to pull his hand out, and I'm going to throw this off or go in some other direction. Those are some good options off those chops. And we have to spend a lot of time on them. We wrestled 2 teams down in Delaware called St. Mark's and William Penn. And the man comes up underneath right to here. We're going to move away from it. Doesn't make a lot of sense to sit here and fight this pressure right in here. So what we do is we do just like a switch motion. We call it a changeover. He's going spiral. I'm going to clear this arm over this way. Boom. And I get to my forehead. And I release all that pressure. I've got to my forehead. So the motion, and we got to stay in a ball, the motion is going to look like this. We're here, we're pivoting on this foot, boom, and we're getting to our forehead this way. And it's almost like a switch motion, or it's exactly like a switch motion. I'm trying to clear that arm. I don't have to do so much the guys inside that arm who's going spiral, or I'm trying to come in and do a half series on us, but we're right here, boom, boom, and that reminds me of something else. Off half. Guys got a hooked in here, and he's going half. I don't know if you guys see this a lot. No, up over here. He's right in here, or if the guy's trying to go single wrist. We'll go near, right in here. We'll go near cross on him right here. We'll go near cross right there. That's about the only direction that you can go in. He's fighting us right in here. He's trying to get your head down, and we're just going to go right to here and try to pull this arm down in this direction. He's got an angle on me. He's got an angle on me. What we feel is we've got to put the guy behind us. If he's trying to go half right from this direction, and we're not going to get beaten, he's trying to come underneath, he's trying to go half here, boom, we're putting him directly behind it. Now we're thinking about back pressure. Thinking about back pressure. So, or even, I don't know if you guys have seen this garbage at all. You guys see this at all? You guys pull on? It's also a good way to move away from it, put back pressure. The guy that's real good at this is going to hurt you. When they come underneath, I'm going to start, oh God, I got to talk here. Change hips. I'm still trying to move away from it. And it's good stuff. And a guy that is a good clawer. Whew. Anybody ever remember Gene Mills wrestling? He was good at half. His brother Dale, which hardly anybody knows about, his brother Dale was very dangerous on top. He would get on top of guys and just leech on them right here. Sometimes he'd stand up, and take guys right here, there. If a guy tried to pull down on him, he'd just load him up right on his lap, right to here. Then he'd give him the Italian high sign right here. Try to shut him off. But anytime a guy gets underneath, we try to move away from him. And you gotta stay in a ball right here. And we're trying to land on this shin. Now there's a few things, it's almost like a short sit series. There's a few things that we will do from this. We'll go bang, change over, boom. Obviously there's a switch right there. If the switch is not there, I come here, get to my far hip, boom, I'm right here. And we're in this situation right here, where his head is on this side. We're going to just crowd back inside. Crowd him back inside right in here. So we're trying to take this action here. We're trying to crowd him back inside. So maybe we can high turn back out the other side. Here's what I mean by high turn. Here's what I mean by high turn. Chop, boom, elbow. Everybody know what I mean by high turn? Almost like you get down in the beach area, those guys, everybody know the Virginia Beach area, the Granby, you see Great Bridge. Those guys just walk, they just walk on the mat and all of a sudden, boom, and they hit Granby's all over the place. And if you never wrestle them and you wrestle them, just be prepared for them, because every kid on their team will Granby, and they all do a good job of it. Here's us wrestling Great Bridge. Okay, let's go. I don't want to deal with that stuff. But we did a real good job with them this year at the Delaware Mid-Atlantic. We had a pretty good team, and I think did a better job handling the Grammys. If a guy stays in, he's gonna stay in tight on me right here. I go change over. If the guy stays in tight on me right here. One thing I do is try to push with my feet. Do a shin stand. I'm right here, I'm coming with my feet this way. I don't want to try to dig my heels into the mat right here and do a regular stand up, because my butt's stuck right there. I got all the pressure this way. I'm right here, and I'm trying to go ahead and give me a little pressure. I'm doing a shin stand this way, so I'm clearing my hips up. You have to push me up. Right here, comes right up toward me. Clearing this arm out, and hit the cutaway. It's good action when a guy's coming back in. Change over, or we'll just go in the referee's position. Put your head down this way. Or I could do type of float actions. This is how we teach. My shoes get a little slick. This is how we teach hip highs. Posting the foot on the mat, coming back over. Posting the foot on the mat, coming back over. This foot stays still. There's our post. Hip highs, hip highs, hip highs. And we'll hit the same thing from right here. We're trying to come high up, get switch action. We'll get right on this hand here. And come and float over the top. Boom. And get a hip drag right off of that. So we'll go and change over to a float. If we're stuck right here, and the guy comes back and tries to chop, we're trying to post our hand right next to our hip. We're going to go in that motion right there. Post, boom, get height, elbow, and my high turner. Now one thing that I don't want kids to do when they're in that high turner motion is to try to grab a leg. I'd rather have them go elbow in the crotch. Because if you grab the leg, the guy's going to hop. And I'll tell you to the top man, your job is to chop. So he's going to chop one side and come back and chop the other side. So we'll have him right here. Chop this side, does a knee across. Goes back down, come back and chop that side. Because I want both guy to be efficient on both sides to be able to counter this. And we'll do the same thing off the spirals. Spiral one way, spiral back the other way. If you're like in a JV program or in a junior high program, one thing that's good to use changeovers for is, let's say a guy gets up on the left side of it, and a kid on the right side. That's good. No, on that side. On my right. If the kid doesn't feel very good from this position right here, he can go change over, boom, go right up to his feet, and look where I am right now. I got him on the other side. So if the kid doesn't feel comfortable with a man on the left side, you can put him right over on the other side by just doing a complete changeover. I'll do it without anybody on me. He's on this side of me. I go change over, boom, and I go right back to my waist, look to my base. He's right there. He's on this side. I want to put him on the other side. I go change over, boom, right up to my base, and I got him on the other side. Let that roll again. So that will work out well if you have kids that are weak on the other side. Catch. The other thing that we do is we try to keep our knees together. If the guy beats our leg, we're definitely going leg down and trying to clear out. And in this situation, I'm using this leg right here to try to clear that leg out. Sometimes we push it back into a crab ride. Yeah, one top, take a little leg. So we're going to mule kick down and try to take the pressure off. We'll mule kick down and try to take the pressure off. I want to put him to that butt right there. So we'll put him down right here. And I'm using this knee to bring that leg out. So I got him in this situation. If kids are good at counter crab, we put them right in back in here. And then we'll go counter crab rise. And some of the things that you can do with a crab ride is one that we like to do is step off and clear our hip this way, or even better, is bring it to one side. One side, clear here, boom, clear our hips off right there. So I'm doing kind of the same motions that I was doing before with our hip height motion. Some of our really athletic kids, and I don't think they'll get away with this in college, but some of our really athletic kids counter crabs by moving their hips away, then do it. Okay, here's some of the on the back. I'm not a big advocate of doing it, of teaching it, but I do it. It's one of those things that do as I don't do or say or do. Real tight together, and the guy's trying to throw them, and then we'll work on throwing them off. Go ahead. He's trying to throw them in here. And move them back away from him. Anybody have any questions on anything? I've tried to put this one in speed group because I know it was getting late and everybody's getting a little bit tired. One thing that we'll do is try to put him right on his head. He's power half of me right here. I'm going to try to put him right on his head right here. Boom. Right here. Then go back and fight that hip down. That's one thing that we try to do. The other thing that we try to do is we try to bring this hip down. So we're going to move this leg this way, and then we're going to put this leg here and try to fight this arm and swim it right over the top. I'm not too good at this because I don't have the flexibility to turn back this way. But if you have a kid that has real flexible shoulders, you can step, go up, boom, drop that hip down, and swim that leg up over the top. I find it better to put a guy right up on his head. Anytime when I feel like a kid is, it's just being, you get stuck on it here, come up, bring me on my hip right here. We work pretty hard right from this position right here. Go back without even putting it in. We work hard on this position right here. Let me turn this way. I'm not letting the guy get power half in. If this arm comes right to here, I'm going to get power half. If this arm loses height over here, I'm going to get power half and strung out. So what we try to do is try to keep this one down low right in here so he can't get underneath. Come back out, let go. We try to keep it right over here. See where I'm going right there? The other thing is up on top, come on top. Yeah, like that. He tries to power half. We're doing this right here. Now if I can hit down, I'm still doing this right here. Try to clear that leg out right to here. And then maybe, if you want, you can try to split his leg and come back out through that way. Power half is a nasty one. You know, especially if you have a kid that's in that situation, he's not being very tough. Next thing you know, he's giving up back points. Any other questions?
Okay, and that's the most simple way. And by the way, how I get my underhook most of the time is wait for a guy to post. I come with the far hand, come across, palm out, fingers up, pop him off my shoulder here, and step in and get the underhook at the same time. It doesn't matter if he's got the thumb in here or what. Right there. Stepping in, getting head position from the very start, because as everybody knows, head position is the most important thing when you're in an underhook. If you give the other guy head position, it severely limits your options. Okay? What I mean by that is I've got head position here, and now Robert's got head position on me. He's pretty much effectively got me blocked out, and I can't really execute anything. So it's important to get head position from the start and keep it. Now, in the circumstance that he does get head position, he does fight for head position, there's two main ways I get back. One of them is rolling my head under and putting the hard part of the back of my skull into his nose and lips. I'm not headbutting, I'm just doing that. Okay, it's just kind of uncomfortable, and usually they'll let you have head position again. And the other way I like to do it is just giving him a shove, create some space, and getting back in here. Now, what makes it tough sometimes is when he comes in here and locks you in. Then you got to fight the arm off and get back in. You got to get that arm off because he can just get a death grip on your head. He'll stalemate you there for a while. So once I've gotten this underhook and I decide I want to duck under, I have two choices. Which side do I want to duck? Okay. Yeah, I have control on this side. This would be the most obvious. Okay, and what I mean by that is I'm just like clearing a high crotch. I'm changing my level, getting my head under, raising my delt right here, so raising my elbow with my delt, I guess. It comes under. Notice my penetration leg is forward, right there. All I'm doing is creating some daylight right here, so I can shoot my head through, committing my hips. Okay, my hips aren't back. I'm committing them, and I'm looking for the inside track right here with the other arm. A lot of times, that'll be controlling it right here, reverse, or if I just see some space, I go. Okay, now, even if his elbow's in there, sometimes I'll duck and just use this. Okay? But you want to know what you're going to do with this far arm. You don't want to duck under and then have him have an underhook on you right here, countering you. Okay? Either clamp down on this tricep or shoot it to the inside. If I clamp down on that tricep, I circle, take him to where he can't post again, just like I was talking about the other day. He can't post because I've got his arms sucked in. So he's going to fall, and then I have a good chance to turn him. all right? Or you come inside here. Now I've got a body lock. And like I said yesterday, sometimes if you're wrestling somebody real funky, you're going to start coming around and he's going to wind you up. He's going to block you right on the outside right here and try to take you over. Okay, some kind of a chin hook like that sometimes. Well, like I said yesterday, what I like to do is knee him right there, step in right here, finish just like that. Okay, that's pretty effective. Notice I am getting my arms out there, and I'm still sagging down. But, like I said, there's no need to switch your head back over to the other side when you have your head under. Another way I like to finish it. If the guy's staying real square and keeping his hips back a little bit, one of the ways I like to finish it is instead of coming around to this side, I'm going to come around to this side right here. And once again, I'm blocking. Replace it. Head pressure is real important right here. I'm not just walking my hips over here. I'm walking my whole body. Now I'm locking right here. Then all I'm doing is I'm going to cut it in a little bit, replace this one right there, and walk it down. Set it off the side. Okay. Another way, the most obvious way, is simply to, another little point to this body lock position. I like to keep my lock right above his sacrum right here. Right as low on the small of his back as I can. And at the same time, I like to keep my chest right in his, or my shoulder right here in his sternum, up as high as I can. So I've got as much leverage as I can possibly be getting out of that as I'm pulling him in with my lats. Okay? And what I can do is I can just bring him right down. Just take him right over backwards. And when I was younger, that's what I used to do, but I really prefer doing this, stepping through, or right there. Kind of combining and squeezing him down while I'm executing a technique. Those are the main ways I like to finish the body lock. And there is, I guess just as obvious, he's just been coming around and then taking him down. And in some kids' minds, especially beginning wrestlers, that's a lot easier to conceptualize. They get behind there, then they just got to take him down. So if you guys are going to do that, make sure they know what to do if they think you guys are going to try to whip them. Okay? So back to the duck under. I was ducking the underhook side. Okay? Now, I can also duck the far side. All right? Last time I was ducking this near side right here. Going with the arm. But what I like to do is duck the far side sometimes. So how am I going to do that? I'm either going to control his wrist, duck the far side. I'm going to let him grab my wrist, duck under there. Or if he grabs my tricep, right there. You see, if he grabs my tricep, I can grab his. Right there. Now you'll notice there's a difference between 3 duck unders I just did. 2 of them were what I call a pull-over duck, and 1 of them was a penetration duck. I'll show you what the difference is. If I grab his wrist right here, I usually like to do a penetration duck. And what that means is it's just like a double leg penetration, the same footwork. I'm clearing right here, shooting, I get my body lock. That's the penetration. I'm actually I'm physically moving towards him. This other one, I'm moving him over me. I'm squatting, pulling him over me, and then attacking. There's a difference. Okay, in this one, I just step both feet together, lower my level, and in my mind's eye, I see me throwing him so hard that he plants both arms right there. Just like he just did. And then I just attack, just tackle him. So, out of those two, the better one to start out showing would definitely be the penetration duck, especially the younger kids. It's easier. They're used to doing a double leg type penetration, and they'll catch on a lot faster. Once they have that mastered, I'll usually move them on to the penetrate or the pullover type duck, which is one I actually prefer. And I like it because it uses their motion against them. And if it's set up right, they can't really fight you. They're prone on all fours. And I like to push into me a little bit if I can. I'll give them a little shove, and then when they push into me, they'll fall flat. And the most important part with this duck under here is the underhook arm. Okay, I'll reach around and I'll grab the front of his delt, and just not even thinking about this arm at all, pretending it wasn't there. I can pull him over just with that. That's what I'm using. So I'll do it one more time. And sometimes my ducks end up being double legs. They're wondering which side am I going to duck. Okay. Roberto has an underhook on me right here. Okay, I'm going to show you the far side duck this time first. Now I like to get in head position. If I don't have it, I can still do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change levels and go to his lap right here. Or no, not his lap, his trap. I like him to actually grab a wrist on this. I'm going to go up here to his neck, change levels. You got to watch out. You got to go right away once you reach up there, because all of a sudden I become vulnerable right here. All he's got to do is throw me up, and he's got the single. So when I actually go up here, I've got to move it and go. This ducking the far side from an overhook is definitely not a high percentage move. It's an option. I stick with more high percentage things like just clearing it. But in the case that time's winding down, the guy's got an underhook, you need to score, it could be an option. So again, if he's grabbing my wrist, if he's grabbing my tricep, I can do it. Okay, now I'll secure my position on this far side before I ever come up here. And again, I'm pulling him over me. It's the same action because I had right here, but it's here. Okay, now ducking the near side isn't quite as risky a proposition. Okay, if he's got an overhook right here, all I'm going to do is get some kind of control over here on this far side. I'm going to come to his tricep. I'm going to throw it over. Now the important thing about clearing any underhook when you're shooting, whether it's a high crotch or whether it's a double, whether it's a duck under, is overemphasizing this windmill action and slapping your far cheek if you can. And what that's going to do, no matter how tough of an underhook he has, 99% of the time, it's going to come out. I'll do it real slow. What I mean is when I come here, slap that far cheek, see how that underhook came off? I'll do it over this side. It comes off. So that's the same action I'm doing right here. I'm just threading my head through, at the same time coming and overemphasizing that windmill action, hitting my far cheek. All right, that was pretty simple. Only thing you got to watch is to bring this, bring my forearm below his elbow just kind of pull back. Right there. Or you can circle away from it. A lot of things you can do. Or at least get rid of the head position, for sure. I would try it. I'd be thinking about getting out. If I'm trying to come under, and he goes ahead and gets that, I'll duck it. That's what I'll personally do. But,
What if you grab your chin?
what if you grab
Still do that?
lean over the top, or
Right.
pull it?
Okay.
I can still do it. Not a problem. But what's going to happen is the back of my head is hard, and the front of his face is soft, and he's not going to like what I'm doing. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you're doing it right, he's going to be thinking, oh, you know what? I'm not saying headbutting, but not at all. I'm just saying let him know your head's under there. Okay? And he shouldn't really be thinking about it when you're doing that. So, like I said, just getting your head right there. He's just thinking about how to get his face out of it without messing it up, rather than front headlock. But if they do front headlocking, if they do grab your wrist, then you've got to fight from there and make it work. You can duck under, some other things you can do. Hips only traveled about 6 or 8 inches. Right there. Okay? That's commitment of the hips. And with any duck under, committing the hips, get them in here, is real important. Having your power under you, having a good straight back once you get under there. That's the most important thing. And how, right here. All I need is some space to get my head right there. A lot of times, even if he's doing a good job keeping my head in the middle, all I have to do is just canter my body a little bit, and I create that angle, that space. So, what I mean here, if I got my elbow in, both elbows in, I've got it locked, and I've got his head right down here in my abdomen, real low, there's no way he's going to duck me. All right? If, like most high school kids and a lot of college guys I wrestle, even if they do know, sometimes they get tired and then get lazy. This elbow sneaks out a little bit right here, even though the head might be in the middle. Okay, all Robert's got to do is he's got to canter himself a little bit. Now he's got the angle. He can get in there for a high crotch, double, single, duck, whatever he wants. So I'm just looking for that daylight. Enough daylight for me to pop my head through there.
That's usually the high school kids. They're getting caught and they're not on their feet. They're on
And put my hips in. Right there. Double duck, whatever you want. A lot of people say, okay, you get that close in there, what happens if the guy tries to run you over or whip you? You'll notice that when I come in here, my toes are either curled in or I'm ready to take a bite with him. And so I'm in here in this, I come right to here. Now, if he drives into me and tries to run me over, I'm going to meet his pressure and he's going to drive me right up to my feet. So, right here. And if he drives into me, I can go right up to my feet, take him down. What I like to do on this is I like to shoot, lock, and then take my hips out. I've committed my hips. Now I'll keep a good tight lock here, suck this into me, and then if I bring my hips out, that bends him over. Then I can finish. You see what bringing my hips out did? You felt it, right? I shot in tight as I could, and then if I bring my hips out just a little bit, it bends him over and kind of immobilizes him. If he's got his hips out here, he still can fight. I'm trying to get wizards, but the second I bring him here, he's looking for a way to get down without going to his back.
Earlier when you were doing the duck and it looked like you were squat.
And right here. I seen Coach showing some of this stuff the other day, and that's real good. Taking the 2-on-1 off is a real good option. Another thing I like to do is kind of a modified 2-on-1, which is reaching up here, what I call a reverse baseball grip. And basically all I'm doing with the baseball bat, you hold it like this, I hold it off. Okay, I'm coming with this far arm and going to his wrist. Closest one to me. I'm taking this one and going right here. Now, I want to bring it down in front of them. When I show younger kids this, they want to twist it up like this and do that. I'm letting my grip slide. I'm just bringing it right here in front. Okay? What do you want to do here? Okay, he's going to do it right. He either pull his hand away or circle. But you wouldn't believe the amount of guys that when they get a little bit fatigued or maybe just lazy, they want to grab your wrist. Okay, they want to grab that wrist right there. See that? He grabs it. All I'm going to do is lower my level and let loose with this arm right here. Right there. I'll show this standing up so everybody can see it. I'm coming here, rotating it down in front, and he's grabbing my wrist. I'm letting loose with this arm right here and clearing both of them. He's going to hold on to this one. He holds on to it. I take the other one out, and I got to clear out right here. Do a duck, double, whatever you want. Adding on to this a little bit, if he's not going for your wrist, maybe you burned him on it once or twice, you can bait him a little bit further and give him your head. What I mean by that is I peel this off and he's not doing anything for him. He's staying in good position. I'm going to take my head under here a little bit and see what he does. Normally, Robert's going to go with a front headlock over my head. Right there. Perfect. I've got my head out the side right here. Clear that right there. Commit my hips. Now, you don't want to do this unless you're going to be aware, number one, of what the guy can do to you. He can attack me when I get my head down like that. So I got to be ready. I've got to be extra aware. And the second thing you got to be aware of is no matter what happens, don't give up this wrist. And I'll show you why. If Robert and I are here wrestling and he grabs my head, I'm fine right here and I should hit my duck right away. But if something happens where Robert's a good wrestler and he sucks me down, I'm not going to let loose of this wrist. I might even put all my weight on it right there. If you let loose of the wrist, they're going to get a front headlock. They're going to lock you up, they're going to choke you, pull you down. If you've got one of his wrists controlled like that, he won't be able to lock it up. Most he's going to be able to do is just have a loose front headlock with one arm, and you're fine. You can come back up to your feet if you have to. If he brings me down, I can come back to my feet and shoot. So don't let loose of that. Your other wrist. Okay, what I'll do a lot of the times is come into an arm drag. Right there. So that's an option. You might score, you might not, but at least you get him reacting to you. And when I'm wrestling, right here. Okay? Consequently, he has two elbow ties. So he's got position here too. I feel like I don't want to stay in here very long because I feel like we've got equal position. And I don't like to have equal position. I like to be in better position if I can. And what I mean, I've got two hooks right here like Coach Powell was talking about. What I'm going to do is step both feet together. I'm going to squat. I'm going to pull him over me. And I was committing to one side. The side that I committed to, I let loose of the elbow. The opposite side that I committed to, I'm keeping my hook right here on his tricep, and I'm taking him to where he can't post. Now, the best time to do this, like most moves, is when he's driving into you. If he's backing away from you, I won't try duck under because basically not only do I have to penetrate all the way to where his legs were, but even further because he's moving them backwards. If a guy's stalling on me, I'm going to have different tactics, trying to get him into front headlocks, trying to get the referee to caution him and make him stay in there, whatever. But normally if a guy's in there to wrestle, and he's not avoiding wrestling, if you give him a little shove, he'll shove back. Or he might just be an aggressive wrestler and he's pushing into me. The reason I like to go right when I get this tie is because he can suck my elbows in. Okay, if I'm right here and he sucks my elbows in and pulls them past, he can do something. And so that's why when I'm teaching, I like to stress not to stay in any one tie too long. All right, when I get a tie, I try to go with it. I mean, you end up hanging out sometimes, but optimally, I don't like to stay in a tie for any more than 2-3 seconds if I can help it, because he knows he can start countering and getting out of the tie, and he can start setting up some kind of an offense and get it done. Okay, so he can get me right here, I can get him. That's why I don't stay in this kind of tie-up for very long. All I'm going to do to duck here, I've got two elbow ties. I'm just going to penetrate. I guess that's kind of a double, but anything where I'm ducking my head under there, looking for daylight, I consider a ducking. So, now we can Roberto come under me and duck in that position. I can penetrate in. So, that's why I don't like to hang out, because I like to have a better position. I don't feel like I got that great a position when he can do that to me. But being aware of what can happen to me in any one tie can be a really good defense. Okay, if I know Robert may try to duck me, I can be ready to counter it. Okay, or the near arm far leg or whatever. As long as you're cognizant that you're in a tie where he can do some offensive things to you and you're not relaxed, then that goes a long ways towards countering. But bottom line is, once you get in the tie, okay, I've nailed Roberto with a couple single legs. Or whatever it may be, a high crouch coming here and through, or it could just be a regular single leg. Okay, I've nailed him a few times. And he's damn worried about me getting on that leg again. Okay? Maybe I haven't even got him with it, but he really respects it. I've almost got it. Or I faked it a couple times. He thinks I'm going to go. You can even, as coaches, you can even say, single. And that gets the guy thinking, the opponent. So listen, I have coached do that for me every once in a while. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fake this single with the intention of squirting my head between his tricep and his lat. What I mean is I'm going to come here, and he's going to fake right there. He's going to bring it back. And as he's bringing that back, he's probably only going to sprawl to one leg. I'm going to bring my head out the other side. This is a real hard one to... Bill, could you give us a bit of water, please? This is a real hard one to assimilate unless you're wrestling hard. But I think I might be able to do it. That even if he sprawls with both legs, I can sometimes get out the other side. Now, I'm getting him to buy this make with my head and my footwork just a little bit. Okay. I'm coming here with my head over on this side. If my head's on this side of the body, he really buys the fake. I'm bringing my head over this side of the midline and then bringing it across under his chin. Right there. And this is one that really does work good. You get a guy who sprawls with one leg, tries to push away. If he sprawls with both, you can still do the move like I said. Okay, so that's one to try. If forearm down to here. If I just go for a front headlock right here, and in order to do this, I've got to make room for my hips to come in, so I got to slide his head out. Well, when I do that, he can duck me, right? That's all the stuff I've been showing. He can duck me. So what I'm doing is I've got his head down here in the middle. I'm grabbing his chin. And when I bring him to the outside, I got my forearm on right there. The one's bent up already. There's no way he can duck me. Okay? Then when I go, I'm looking for that right there. Okay, and I'm ready to slow it out of here. Rather than, I'm the type who just wants to, I want to stand up, I want to get out of there. I don't want to roll around to the guy any chance to throw something on me. Rather than being down here in straight arm, where you have no hope for exploding, I like to get my toes underneath it. Even at the expense of letting the guy grab it. It's like I do some things there also. Have a good bend in my elbows, and when I go all the way up. I go both legs. Especially when I go outside, I have his weight back. If he's got his weight way forward, I'm going to have to do it inside or outside of the stand. But if he's just on me, right there. Okay, I'm just giving him a good jolt. Pretty much everything. Even if he makes an initial move forward on me, either way. But like that stand up's not great. You know, conventional stand up, it's fine. Outside leg stand up. You're talking. I like to right out to the side here.
Damn it, that's sweet.
That's a way. Another way is he's fighting my wrist. I like to go across wrist. And call it shoot. Bring it back that way, step on the heel. Or, again, I can get out here, come up to this side and lift him. And if you get something, if you get a wrist, a cross wrist while you're still standing up, and you take him down that way, then he's already broken down. You've got to kill two birds with one stone. And you can't put the front headlock on. And that goes for even if you grab your elbow in. Right. And if I rotate my head, if he's got a front headlock, and I rotate my head to this other side, it takes it out. See that? He's got a front headlock, and I grab his elbow, and I rotate my head, just going up, just getting out of blocks quick. You're on, Joe. Well, thank you. Down in a high side position, rather than down in a soft spot, which is much more specific. I don't want to put the weight on the sand. That way you don't think. That weight on the sand. Control the opposite side arm. Opposite side arm. So if you do like this, I just like to break it down, get the head, take it over, and the other hand while I got it. What happens to me, or what happens a lot of times, we skip that leg, and the first thing we do is I want to set something up, right? That happens down to the yeah. So if you went over here, I want to go, I just come down and put it right into here. Look where I'm at. This leg comes back here before. Right there. I got his hip pulled in, so he can't get away. I've got his shoulder hook. If he tries to turn away from it, I come up and I catch right here. Look his elbow. Going down. Once I have him right here, his hips are locked. I've got his shoulders up, I've got this. I'm not hooking the toe down his face with almost with that's it. I keep it back here in a pretty poor position. He can't turn away from it. He really can't turn into it. So I'm already getting back now, right? Getting back. How many of you guys teach guilty? How many times it's blown off when you put it behind your head? A lot? Okay, watch this. You like this. Get the arm right here. I've already got my back points. He's underneath. Catch his elbow. That is wrist. Right here. Look on your arm, your elbow, okay? Push it down between your body. Come back and go.
here. The keys are, get it 3 or 4 down at the bottom, put the arm between me, not over my head. Then my pulling hand, I've got him locked. Take this hand, and I shove his shoulder down. Then I pull cover his shoulder with my armpit. Then I just push his head here. And he gets real tight. He's not real flexible. I do this, reach down, cradle from there. Takes top of his head, take right there, pull it across, it's real tight, arch my hips into him. This is trouble. But it comes back. Okay, here again, I'll show you what you get into it. Just to practice it, I can practice in this position. That's your shape. If I'm going to drive you, I'm going to control this arm, this hip. This is my drive leg. Throw it down on the mat. I'm going to put right on that. Here. Just like this. Now lock it right. I don't make any other adjustments. Just make sure I lock this through before. Right there. Can't go much. Catch the arm. Now I got it secure. There's a space in here. I'm not real tight to it. You push your hand underneath. Catch the arm, the wrist. Push it down. There's the pull my elbow, it's over. Pull it down here. Keep the trouble. One of the criteria we talked about today, remember a couple of days ago? Last year. Legal pain and immobilized. We can't move. This meets all that criteria. This is going to be hurting, and he's definitely going to be where he can't move. So I got it. That goes real well. It's the arm. He's got his arm out. He gets back to the belt. I just keep the legs forward. Okay, get him down here like this. Normally what will happen is I'll start putting your hands out to come up. As soon as he does, grab the hand. Just like that. Turn the hand down. Now get your hand down. It's hard to get back. So take his wrist, lock his wrist right here. Grab it, immediate part of his hand, and just turn it down. So I'm getting all his hands. Now come on. Just post my hand right there. He's pretty tight, so I'm just going to take it. Bring it up. Post up with my hands. Walk back again. And right back here again. Same place. So I've got him in the same situation. Okay, see how I did it? Just real easy steps. I lost his arm. And then he puts that hand out. I do it. Now you can always keep it forward up in here. So I get his hip locked real tight. There's no way you can adjust out here. Even flat again. Pressure's out here. Grab the hand. Look how high I'm off of it. I could take his hand like Les does, and the others do. But if this arm's tucked in, I can do the same thing and arch him this way. Because I'm really high on his hips. If you just practice arching, just practice arching his hips over. Now here again. Here, same situation. Close my head on the mat. Grab the arm, bend it, ease it through. Once it's through, close my hand, raise it up. Now I'm in the same position. Do that. Mark right here at the top, which I'll get into bring that next to. You get weight on his hands. I want weight on his hands. If he's going to stand up, where's he got to take his hands? Off the mat. Going to switch, what's he got to do? Got to adjust his hands, get him off the mat. Going to set out, same thing, right? If the weight's on his hands, like a spiral creates, then you got a chance to use the wrist, you got a chance to do some things. And that will lead to another breakdown of control position on the hip. So I'm going to go ahead and stick the legs on, bring them down flat, and let you have your hands free and go back to that. So here like this. Push those off, stand right over here, everything goes forward. So it goes up, you got to put his hand, up, legs in. Now I got it. Come back, put him in my lap. I don't have his arm though. I want it this. I don't have it, so he goes flat. When he goes flat, as he goes flat, before that end, start trying to push up. Back hand. Post it out. Bring it back, post it. Bring it through. Post right there. Legs up. Take your time. Got it. This man is taught correctly. He's going to hit his best move to come out, right? He's going to hit a stand up or switch or whatever he does. Way. Whether I go to a near arm waist break down, whether I go to a spiral, or what I really prefer is a blanket run. And all it is crotch, crossface position. So my weight goes into it. Same situation. I want the blades on. Here, get it. Legs up here, pull it in. Switch to here, switch to here. Just like this. If I get to the arm, that's where he's going to be. My next motion is to be knocking down. He goes all the way over like that. It's perfect. So I'm going to step up. I'm going to turn. I'm going to reverse the half. It's the same thing we were in with the Turk series. Same position. Arm is trapped in here. Elbows on the mat. Pick up here. Cradle here. And off this one I can also lock the hip right here. It's real tight. So it's a good series to go off on, which is either cross-face position or inside angle. So I'm here like this, be here, here, that position. He's going to have a hard time getting this right. Try to stand up. So I've got too much control. For me to control this man, I've got to control his supporting points. So I can take either his legs or his hands, his arms. So once I get that position, let's say you flatten out. Or you flatten out. Post out. Cross face. As soon as I cross face, I'll take this shoulder to the mat. Remember what I showed you last couple of days ago? Take this shoulder to the mat. Right there. When I do, this foot turns inside. Grab it at the knee. Pull it up to your chest. Just real easy. Like this. Put your leg in the air. As soon as I do this, I'm going to adjust up here just a little bit. I'm going to take my cross-face position, reverse the half, come under the leg right here, slide down just a little bit. Now your arm strapped. Come in, block. Now I've got it. If, as I mentioned before, sometimes they'll get this leg out and they'll brace it. That's okay too. That's just going to sit up the outside cradle. So I've got the cross face. And what I want to make sure is I block it so he can't get his elbow back. I'm trying to cross it fully over there. Right side. Now I can't get to it. All right. Block it. Not trying to put it. Now I got it. Now he's down. Turn back. Flat. Flat. I want you to clear this leg up first. Yeah. Get it right there. Run the head to it. Going back over here. I'd like to ride is someone else pressed out here. This crossbody or grab position, he wants to control these. I don't want to grab here. The first thing I do if I grab his hands is he does what to me? He pulls them back, under my arms, stretches me out, then he'll stick a leg in or he'll stay in here and stay real tough. Easiest thing to do, as soon as I hit this position, is reach outside, grab instep. You want to grab it? Knees, elbows come inside the thigh. I'm just going to slide my hips down and arch up. I'm running this ball right on this inside bone here. I'm going to get a lot of pressure, but I'm also sliding my hips down the leg. And then I'll slip off to one leg and just pressure one leg and turn.
Can you go up the line too, Coach?
I'm sorry?
That's over the line on your same way to break up.
What's he doing to it? Crossbody? He's got this on me? Yeah, I can do the same thing. But if he's doing this, I'm not going to do that. See where he's at right here? He wants to take me which way? This way, right? So I can turn my hips the opposite way, drive the opposite hip. Keep this elbow in. Now what's he going to do to my head? That simple adjustment. Right? What's he going to do with his hands? He's going to try to grab hold of it. I'm not going to let him under this arm. I don't want him under here. Since I sit out, start with this, slide the hips down. Slide down. Grab his wrist. As soon as I grab his wrist, slide the hips down, both hands here. Right. Now let's take overhead box. Both hands over the head. Grab his elbow. Close his hand on the other side. Walk right up. Now we're right back where we were before. See how I got to it? Once again, anytime I set out in front of top of it, walk this elbow in. Just put it inside, slide it down, slide this. You use over, grab it, you'll try to reach on grab side. Here won't do any good. You got to use this hand. Do this like this. Like that, a little time. Lift the hand, walk his elbow. this hand through. Walk right around front, keep it tight, reverse the hand. Now, come right back to our work. He does that, this hand posted on the mat. Talk.
Grab it here. Slip this thing back through.
Watch again. Face the other way. That's a good move, guys. It works well. Watch it. Same on his hip. He puts a hand on the mat to catch his weight. Cross grab it. Inside arm comes through. Walk the outside. Now he's right where he wants to be. That turn position again. That's when the guy's not even cross face. Give him a hand, guys. Side, he's cross face in front. Turn that hip down. That's where I drop. See, now he's back to where I want him to get. I got either one of these. Cliff just did, or the one I want, if you reach over the top. So when I get hand control, either here, put that down and get right there. Now simple. Arm twist. You can't adjust what's after this. Does that answer your question? Any others, guys? Half from that side and try to run me by back here. He's going to walk over here. Like that. Like that. As soon as he gets this, first of all, I'm going to start getting pressure down on this arm. Try to drive it. See how I got his arm pinched down? Pull this down tight. Post this off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run my hips back into him and pull this arm through. Now, all I'm doing is making sure he can't drive or change sides on him. And I've got to run my weight back into him to shift his weight. Stay in one place, he can hold me. If I got him down here like this, and he's not doing it, I'm going to hold him here a long time. Say I shove my weight back. You got to work on it. It's not that easy to do, but you can kick them off with your body weight to get your arm back to the inside. Okay, he's got a spiral. If he's going to do a spiral, what's he trying to do to me? I'm trying to shift my weight, run me in a circle, so that I go down so he can pick up a wrist, right? That's what he should be doing. So, all I have to remember is he's trying to take me here. All I'm going to do is adjust my inside knee forward. At the same time he tries to drive, he's stuck here. Now, all I'm doing is taking my same principle as the double leg, single leg high crotch. My lead knee, my chest stay in line. Same way coming out from underneath. I'm higher level off the spark. Bring the inside knee forward. From here again, bring right into my chest. Grab the hand. Come up. Now I'm going to stand in position. It's a matter of cut off and the table shaft. I can switch, whatever.
How about when they get?
He'll stick him on here. So as soon as he does that, I do this. Now try to stick his arm. Okay. If he gets under there, okay, he gets here, he's holding on to me, right? Okay, all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tripod up, and I'm going to raise and roll. What did I do to him? He's under both arms. I tripod, I do a forward roll with a half turn. It's like a dive almost. It's going to take his head right into the mat. I didn't do it hard, so I don't want his head. But in a match, I run his head as hard as I could in the mat, and I would just rotate inside that. It's more like this. Okay, here we are again. He's got me. I just come up. Now, he's going. Forward roll. It's not that hard to teach. Looks like it might be. It's not.
So if his hips already got, if you already broke your hips down, he's already down.
He's got me on the
way,
mat.
You still got to come up this way?
No.
Or you won't be able to fight that way?
Yeah, well, you're saying that I didn't do anything, I leave out the whole thing.
Well, say he's already got kind of broke down to your belly. Say you're down your belly already at that point.
Okay. One leg inside. See, I got my legs inside. I've got to make sure that I get my hips back inside, or I want to get him on the hip. Now we're where I want to be. Now we got the same things to put that close to him. Arm over shoulder. But I can't lay on my belly.
Right.
I've either got to step the legs off with my hips, or I got to turn him to one hip or one side. And when I turn him, I don't want him like this. When I come up, I want him like this. Now try to go. Now it's a hard time. Now we can do the whole series we just did. What's happened is, times I'll take the legs in, and I'll take the guy the opposite way, because he won't, I'll go backwards. I'll be here like this. Then we'll go out and we'll hit up. As soon as we hit, I hit like this. What would you do from right here if you were me? Okay, he went down. I didn't get my hand under here to cross fishing back like, like Les and some of the guys do. My hand was underneath him, whatever. And I caught his shoulder. Criteria is still the same. Still got his hips locked. All I'm going to do right now is reach right under the head and lock my hands. Now I got a headlock. Now it's right here. It's easy for me to hold him. And as soon as he tries to turn inside, I'll just turn inside. All right, with his shoulder drop, then I lock it there. But I come up on my elbow when I do it. Now, if I can't get that, he's probably going to try to bridge down here. This is kind of neat. I like this one a lot. Catch his foot, like this. This one over the top. Right, this one's right through. It wasn't me, guys. Just kidding. Yeah, guys, get on top of the whole line. I'll also like this. Now that's locked right here. What's going to do? Not much, really. Not much to do. All I'm going to do right now, so I'm just going to reach down, grab his wrist, he's in there pulling himself in like this. Walk off the hand, and right back to it. Now that's my right hand. Tries to bridge. I'm going to bridge you first. Yeah. Good job. And I'll try to break this. Okay, now, sorry.